Hello, Sooner Nation. Welcome back to the Sooner Surge podcast that tells it like it is. Continuing our position group breakdowns for Oklahoma this year. August 30th, season opens against Illinois State. And today we're going to talk about the linebacker room, guys. Before we get started, hit that like and subscribe to our channel. Check out the Fan Stop at thefanstop.com and sign up for the OU Shirt of the Month Club. Use code SURGE. You'll get 10% off your first 3 months. We'll post that link during this video, as you'll see it pop up on the screen. But guys, linebacker room is a position where OU lost a lot of the heart and soul last year with Danny Stutzman, but not just the heart and the soul, a lot of productivity from a guy like Danny Stutzman, who's going to be playing on Sundays in New Orleans. And they also lost Lewis Carter to the portal. So this is a position group. They need some guys to step up. They do bring in a really big-time player, guys, in Kendall Daniels. It's just going to be interesting if he's going to be in that linebacker spot or the cheetah. I think he's going to be the cheetah, but that's still considered a linebacker. So, guys, there's some veterans that have been on this team for a while, and then there's some new faces they're going to looking to get some playing time, guys. The linebacker room, opening thoughts on it.
Jerm, this is a group that I think can be really good for Oklahoma. Even without Danny Stutzman, you can't replace him. That's just, you can't. He was that good of a player at Oklahoma and that good of a leader. But I think talent-wise, they got a lot of guys that can go in there and make plays. Very athletic group. I think when you look at Kip Lewis, Kobe McKenzie, Sammy O, Kendall Daniels, like right now, I think those four, to me, have kind of like, they're when you talk about the linebacking core, those four to me are kind of like the guys. But a guy like Owen Heineke, I think is really going to help Oklahoma out this year because, one thing that people talked about going into this year was the depth at linebacker. And I think that is a concern if there's injuries. But I think hearing the things that Owen Heineke's doing is very promising for Oklahoma in that linebacker room. You also got James Nesta. But I just think that Owen Heineke could play a role this year. Specifically if there's any injuries. I just think it's a name that you continue to hear about, and hopefully he continues to produce in fall camp. But really like Kip. You know what? Kip Lewis, guys, go back 2 years ago. He plays very little in that year. Very little. And he flashed like crazy. And everyone was like, wow, this guy. It was always this with Kip Lewis. Wow, that guy's unbelievable. I don't think he can put weight on. That was the thing. That's what people kept saying. Guys, he's put weight on. He's put muscle on. He looks different, and I really like the way he looks. And you already know he's got the physical, the talent to do it. So very excited with that group.
Jay and Jeremy, you guys have heard me talk about Kip Lewis. I think I'm maybe about as high on him as anyone that's an OU fan. I believe that he can win the Butkus this year. I think the athleticism is there. Jay, you talk about and all the opportunities he's gotten, the flashes are there. Now it's just he's going to be a full-time starter, and now it's his chance to put it all together there. Can he really become that guy? Not necessarily that you can replace a Danny Stutzman, but be a guy that has high tackle numbers, TFL numbers, do all those things. And then Kobe McKenzie and Sammy O, I think that's an intriguing battle. I don't know if you guys heard Kobe McKenzie talk before the season started with the player interviews, but he told Sammy, go and take my job from me if you want it more. And I think we all know his high school film, a great athlete. He played a lot of cheetah last year just because they had to after Kendall Dolby got hurt. But now he's back at linebacker where he's supposed to be. Kobe McKenzie, I think he's kind of a guy in which he can just come downhill and absolutely just lay the boom on someone. He's big, more of a physical, more of a run-stopping type guy. And then Kendall Daniels, with the athlete he is, Jeremy and Jay, I know, Jeremy, you think he's going to play cheetah. I think he's going to stick more inside linebacker than cheetah. But I do think that just that linebacker room, it may not be the most deep, but those four guys, along with Owen Heineke, Taylor Heim, that's a guy who was a great athlete coming out of high school. Can he maybe sneak onto the field? You never know. So I think it's a really intriguing room in which, yes, Danny Stutzman is gone, but what is Brent Venables master at developing?
Hey, Jackson. Hey, Jackson, you mentioned Sammy O inside. So So just go ahead and, I mean, right now, just what do you think the two linebackers and then the cheetah would be based off what you're saying? What do you think?
Well, starting at linebacker, I would have Kip and Kobe McKenzie probably for your opening snaps. And then at cheetah, Dolby. I think that Dolby's going to be
I'm just going to be very blunt here. There is zero chance Kendall Daniels is not on the field to start this season. Kendall Daniels is 242 pounds and he's 6'5". He's arguably the best athlete, guy who can cover and bring the boom up on the line of scrimmage. Look, he's playing and he's gonna be on the field, I think, when the game starts on August 30th. I think he's gonna be the cheetah. But going back to linebacker, Kip Lewis is up to 227. Jay, you mentioned the weight. Like, that's impressive for him when all the naysayers were saying what they did. Now, you look at this position, depth has been a concern in the offseason. You do have Samio. That's an important piece. You mentioned Taylor Hyman. He's 6'6", I think 227 or so. But Jay Jackson, it really depends on, I think we're going to be able to see with the linebackers, they're going to be able to do some things and drop maybe bring some secondary guys down, depending on who they're playing. So the matchup to me is going to determine a lot of what BV wants to go with. Kobe McKenzie, though, I think he's the guy that needs to take the next step. He's a guy that needs to go to the next step, guys.
I agree, and you see Kobe's weight there down a little bit, I think.
I think that's good.
Kobe, I think is he's a guy where I think you know what you're going to get with Kobe. I don't think he's a guy that's going to have a whole lot of busts. You know what I mean? But maybe there's other guys that are faster or whatever, but I think Kobe's pretty level-headed, smart player, and I think he's going to be in the right position when he's in there. I could very well see Kip and Kobe as starters on the linebacker side, and then I would probably go cheetah. I would probably go Kendall Daniels personally, but I do think there's also a chance, a world you could see Kip and Sammy O starting on the inside there, and then Daniels at cheetah. I don't know yet. I think Kobe and Sammy might be the biggest battle right now at that linebacker room. I think Kip has got his position locked up, so it's kind of that other position who that's going to be. But got the rest of fall camp to figure that out, guys.
Yeah, and I think the thing is with Daniels, yes, you could say he's going to start at cheetah. Yes, you could say he could start at inside backer. Daniels can play safety as well. So I don't know if you can just classify him as a cheetah or a linebacker because he's going to do so many different things. And we know Brent Venables, he can bring so many exotic blitzes, put guys that are made to be in the box as the deep third safety, do a ton of things. And Daniels at OSU, quite frankly, he was the best player they had on their defense by a mile. And they weren't a very good defense last year, but still, he's a great player. So, Jeremy, I wouldn't be shocked if he starts to cheat in week 1, but I think that Dolby's going to start there. But it's just crazy with the amount of versatility that they have in the linebacker room. I mean, it is. Samuel can even play cheetah as well because he's played it before.
Hey, I will say real quick one thing. I will say the depth to me, if you're going to say what's a concern about linebacker, that would still be the main thing would be if they have injuries at linebacker, you know, that without having a linebacker big time, like over the last few years, they didn't recruit a whole lot of linebackers because they had a bunch in there.
And they lost some. They lost some.
And they lost some. So I think that would be the one thing you look at and say that could be a concern.
I mean, you lose Lewis Carter, you lose Picotti, you lose Jaron Canick, who moves to the offensive side of the ball. Yeah. So, a lot of changes. And, guys, I know one thing about Kendall Daniels. I don't know where he's going to play, but he's an AKA certified baller. So I do know that. And Reggie Powers dropping down to cheetah has been talked about already by those who have been watching practice. So, hey, there are some dudes in that room that can get after it. I can't wait. August 30th, be here before you know it. That's our breakdown of the linebacker room. Give us your take here in the chat. What your take is on the linebacker room. Thanks for watching today. Like and subscribe to our channel, and we'll catch you next time, Sooner Nation.